Hello, my name is Matt, and today we're going to be playing Modline Matryoshka by Cygne. This is a new Sudoku. It doesn't say how long it's been out, but has about 255 solvers. So, fun fact, 256 is 2 up to the 8th power. That means 255 is the sum, I believe, of the first 8 powers of 2. But that's a little math fun for the morning. It's a cozy Sunday here. I'm in my pajamas. I thought it'd be a fun thing to do a puzzle, so let's do one. Let's read the rules. The rules are here. Normal Sudoku rules apply. We're going to place the digits 1 through 9 once in every row, column, and 3x3 box. There is a marked diagonal. The digits 1 through 9 must additionally appear once along each of the indicated diagonals. So I guess 1 through 9 appear on that diagonal. There are modular lines. Any set of 3 adjacent digits along a teal line must have different values modulo 3. In other words, it must contain one digit from the group 1, 4, 7. So this is a math puzzle. 2, 5, 8, and 3, 6, and 9. Cool. Second to last rule, there are XV sums, digits separated by an X sum to 10, digits separated by a V sum to 5, and there are croaky dots, digits separated by a white dot are consecutive. I believe that is enough to get started. But where are we going to get started? Well, a lot of the time when I have lines, what I like to do is try to mark, use colors to signify the different options. So in this case, we've got these very long teal lines, and they are going to be such that if I look at 3 digits along them that are consecutive, they should have 3 different values modulo 3. So maybe this will be 4, which is 1 mod 3, it's in the first column. This will be 2, which is 2 mod 3, it's in the second column. This will be 9, right? But what that means is that this pattern would need to repeat, right? So that this way, if I choose 3 numbers here, they also have one of every modulus. And the same thing is true there. So this, for example, would be blue. And this would be yellow. And I could walk around and do the whole thing. So is this right? That's not right, I don't think. Maybe it is. Let's see. You and you and you and you and you and you. You're all the same color. You're going to be red. Now, you, which is the one that comes after red, are the same. You're going to come after red in all situations. That's yellow. And now blue. So we know that we need to use at least these 3 colors. And the thing that's nice about doing it this way is you can start taking the colors off of the lines. I see. So for example, in this row, we have 3 blue cells and 3 yellow cells. We're going to need a 3rd red cell, right? That's going to need to go here. And then in this column, we're going to need a 3rd blue cell. That's going to need to go here. What that means is, and you can sort of learn this, I guess, from this little, how these lines work out. We have a row up here, and maybe we don't know whether this is yellow or this is red, but we know that this one would need to be blue, I believe. Just like the whole row here is alternating, like yellow, blue, red, yellow, blue, red, yellow, blue, red. It's going to be the same thing up here. We don't know where necessarily the yellows and reds go, but we definitely know where the blue ones go. They're going to be here, 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 and we can actually go all the way around on that, I think. So all of you guys are going to be blue cells, if I do my counting right. Now we can fill in the rest of them for this triangle, right? Because these are all going to be the yellow cells. They're yellow because we need one of every color right here, or rather around this bend. But yeah, so anytime we have after the blue going this way, we're going to have yellow, and then the last category is red. And suddenly, this puzzle just got very colorful, and it's going to be hard to see things. Interesting. Okay, so What I now want to do is I want to get onto the next set of lines in some way. By the way, we know, so in every row and column, there's the numbers 1 through 9. And what that means is that there are 3 of the first color, 3 of the second color, 3 of the third color. There's going to be 3 of each modulus group. We also know that there's 1 of every digit along the diagonal, which means that there should be 3 of each color along the diagonal also. Now, I guess, what do we know? We know that these two are going to be yellow and red, right? Because this region has 3 blue cells already. There's an additional yellow and red cell that's going to go here. Maybe yellow, red, red, yellow, something like that. Down here, there's going to be an additional blue and yellow. And what that's going to leave us, so I really don't like to put in multicolor cells because I think that these are going to be hard for me to see and like a little distracting. When they get multicolored, they get really hard to see for me and really distracting. But right now we know that we've got red, blue, yellow. Up here we've got blue, yellow, red. What that means is here we are going to have 1 red and 1 blue and 1 yellow. I see. And then what will these two need to be? These will both need to be the other yellow cells because we need 3 yellow cells, 3 red cells, and 3 blue cells in this region. So now we know where 2 yellow cells go. I'm going to erase these two before they get confusing for me, but we know that. And then I should be able to go around in a similar way to what I was doing before and add the yellow cells. So here is where the yellow cells go on this line. On this line, they go here, here, and here. And the way that we're figuring this out is we're just hopping 3 cells every time. Cool. All right. What next? In this row, we're all out of yellow cells. So this cannot be yellow, which I guess we knew. This cannot be yellow. I guess on this diagonal, right here, we need 1 more yellow cell, 1 more blue cell, and 1 more red cell. But there's already 3 yellow cells in this row and in this row. That means the yellow cell must go here. Now, I believe that we know, I'm not great at modulus math, but you know, these two numbers are going to sum to 10, but one of them is red and one of them is blue. So like, pretend one was 9, the other one would be 1. That means this column plus this column could create 10. Yeah. That may actually be the only way of creating 10. What I'm realizing is that you can't, there's not 2 numbers that if you choose one number from the middle row, which is modulus 2, is 2 modulo 3, the number that adds to it to make 10 will also be in the middle row. But that's a problem because these need to be 2 different modulus. So what that means is that one of these is going to be 1 mod 3, the other one's going to be 3 mod 3, or 0 mod 3. And what that means is that neither red or blue can be the middle row. The yellow ones, which we have many of, you guys are going to be the numbers 2, 5, and 8 wherever you live. Okay, what are the problems with that? You two need to sum to 5, which means absolutely definitely you can't be 5 or 8. You must be 2. So you guys can't be 2. In fact, neither can you. I was definitely a little bit premature putting down all those 2s. That's fine. You're going to need to go with a 3. That's fine. You guys can't be 2. That's fine. Now you two need to sum to 5 too. It's going to be the same thing. You need to be a 2. That means that you need to be a 3. And what does that mean? That means that 3 modulo 3 is going to be the blue cells. So you guys can't be 3. Cool. All of the blue cells, where we have you right now, you are going to be 3, 6, and 9. Of course, there are some problems. So you guys can't be 3. You guys can't be 3. You can't be 3. You can't be 2. You guys are going to need to be consecutive. I guess there are some other ways of doing that, but you can't be 3. I don't really like, no one likes this. I don't like overcomplicating the Sudoku board. Right now we've got colors and we've got numbers in almost every cell, and I don't really like that. But we'll make do and figure it out. These have to be consecutive. This is going to be great. Now, okay, so if this column of numbers is yellow and this column of numbers is blue, then this column of numbers is red. So all of the red cells, you're the numbers 1, 4, and 6. So that you two can, for example, add to 10, which is, I guess, allowed. Now, I guess we know this. You would need to be blue, which is, you would need to be red. I'm going to get in a situation here pretty quickly where I need to start either removing numbers or removing colors because things are going to get too complicated and too hard to keep track of, really. This is just very distracting. All right. All right. Now, we never really finished out with these bands, but like we know all of the colors that go on this triangle. All right. So if there is, if it goes blue, yellow, then it's going to go red on both sides, right? Then yellow, then blue, then red, then yellow, then blue, then red, then yellow, then blue, then red. So all of you are red. All of the remaining ones here, you guys are blue. Cool. Can I do that up here? I guess I can't do that up here yet, but I'm sure it'll become easy quickly. We're missing one color in this region. This already has 3 blues, 3 reds. The last one's going to be yellow. In this region, we have 3 reds and 3 yellows. The last one's going to be blue, and that means the last one here is going to be red. Now I could look at this row. We already have 3 yellows and 3 reds. We need, the last one is blue, and then this one needs to be yellow. All of the shapes are kind of nice. There's, I wonder if it's going to be the case that the colors just appear like diagonal horizontals. If you look at it, it's like red, 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 yellow, 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 blue, blue. You know, it's like if you pick any diagonal going from, northwest to southeast, that diagonal is the same color. So I wonder if that's going to be the case. I wonder if these two are going to be forced to be blue later. But we don't really know that. In this column, we're missing some colors. In this column, we are missing a yellow, which is going to go here. In this column, we're missing a red, which is going to go here. In this column, we're missing also a red. It's going to go there. In this column, we're missing a blue. So now we have enough colors around this triangle to figure them all out. This is going to be red. This is going to be red. This is going to be red. All of you guys are red. All of you guys are blue. We need to do this in this row. You're going to be blue. You're going to be yellow. You're going to be red. And this exact thing that I was talking about has happened, where all of the diagonals this way are the same colors. That's cool. Now let's take our colors and well, I guess let's fill out the rest of the numbers that go in the colors. I think this is gonna wrap up pretty quickly. I hope 1, 4, and 7 are the numbers that are supposed to go in the red cells. In the blue cells, at least any blue cells that haven't been filled in yet, we're supposed to have the numbers 3, 6, and 9. 3, 6, and 9. Now, you guys can't be 3. Neither can you. In the yellow cells, we're supposed to have 2, 5, and 8. 2, 5, and 8. 2, 5, and 8. I guess you're not allowed to be a 2, though. Cool. Feel pretty good about the puzzle. Feel pretty close. There's 2 things here. So you both can only be 5 and 8. That means that the 2 needs to go there. Right? You guys are 5 and 8. I guess that means that you cannot be a 2, and neither can you. All right. What's next? Well, I guess the diagonal is next, right? So we know that these 2 can only be 5 and 8. That means that the remaining 2 needs to go up here. And suddenly that removes a lot of options. Because the diagonal is going to need to have unique numbers on it. It would be so nice if... Is there some rule that I'm missing? I guess, okay, more stuff. So you can only be 6 or 9, right? You need to add to 10. That means you can only be 4 or 1. You are not allowed to be a 7 any longer. 7 is definitely going to go in one of these 2. You are not allowed to be a 2. That means you 2 are 5 and 8. That means this one is going to be a 2. And now you are not allowed to be a 2. You are not allowed to be a 2 means you two are 5 and 8 means you need to be a 2, and now you are not allowed to be a 2. Now you two are 5 and 8, which means you need to be a 2. You are going to be consecutive with this, which means you're not allowed to be a 1. We'll need to save that for later as we continue to go around. You're not allowed to be a 2. You two are both 5 and 8. You need to be a 2. Now you two are 5 and 8. You need to be a 2. Do we do all of the 2s? Are there any 2s missing? I don't think there are. So now the yellow cells are pretty constrained. Unfortunately, the yellow cells don't really appear around anything other than this dot. But I've really muddied this up for us. I guess in this row, we know where this is going to be a 6 and 9. This is going to be a 6 and 9. That means you need to be a 3. You need to be a 3. You need to be a 7. And then suddenly there's a lot of cells that we know a little bit about. So you can only be a 1 and 4. 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 That's getting a little constrained. I guess you're going to be a 6 or a 9. You are going to be a 6 or a 9. The 6 and the 9 must go here. That means you must be a 3. Yeah, you two need to add to 10, by the way. If you two add to 10, then you're not allowed to be a 7. So now the 1 and 4 on this diagonal are here and here. That means you must be the 7. Now you two can't be 7. You two can only be 1 and 4. In fact, you can only be 6 and 9. So you're 7. You're 3. 6 and 9 go here. 3 needs to go here. 3 can't go here. And I think we're just cleaning it up at this point. Now 1 and 4 on the outside. 7 needs to go here. Right. One and 4, you got to be a 7. You guys are 1 and 4, you have to be a 7. You guys are 1 and 4, you have to be a 7. You now just have to be a 4. You need to be a 1. You need to be a 7. You're going to be consecutive, which means you're a 5. You need to be an 8. You need to be a 5. You need to be a 1. You need to be a 4. You need to be a 4. I hope that I didn't miss-see that. I think you need to be a 9. This is really accelerating. You need to be a 1. Whoa, hold on there. I did miss-see that. Hold on. Well, what just happened? This needs to be a 1? Then this needs to be a 4. Yes, this needs to be a 1. Now this needs to be a 9. This needs to be an 8. This needs to be a 4. There was some little scuff up here, but it seems to have resolved itself. I guess you need to be a 6. You need to be a 6. You need to be a 5. You need to be a 3. You need to be an 8. Let's just go around with the keypad and see if anything arises. It's going to be a problem. I don't think that's the case. This has been a fun puzzle. I do a lot of these puzzles with German whisper lines, and they have this kind of modular aspect. Not really, but they have this alternating pattern along the lines of high numbers and low numbers. So it's kind of a fun, I don't do these modular lines often, but it's been kind of fun to do another kind of alternation because I feel like I was able to port what I knew from this other rule into this puzzle. This was a nice little, it's actually pretty fast. There wasn't much head scratching. It's just a lot of coloring, throwing down notation, and then everything kind of fell into place here at the end. Nope, 4 is what I was aiming for. You're a 5, you're a 4, you're an 8, you're a 9, you're a 1. Exactly 20 minutes. That's not bad. I don't know if you, and I was the 256th solver. For every 2 people that have solved this puzzle, I don't know, but it's a power of 2. This was a fun one, Cygne. I enjoyed your puzzle. I thought it was kind of an interesting. The diagonal would have been was tricky. I was kind of lucky to have seen this thing, I think, where maybe it was like these two are 1 and 4, and then I said, oh, this needs to be a 7. And then we actually had to do that twice. I feel like that would have been really, I feel like for some people that might have been really hidden, because I feel like I just kind of got lucky by seeing it. But I enjoyed this one. And anyway, if you got this far in the video, thank you for watching the video. This was Modline Matryoshka by Cygne, and I had fun playing it with you. I'll put a link down below where you can play this puzzle or other puzzles like it. But with that, thank you for watching. I hope to see you in the next video. Have a good one.